Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Wasim Muhammad Show. I am your brother Wasim Muhammad, and I'm always grateful and delighted to broadcast to you here on the Camden City School Board channel. And as always, I want to start by thanking our wonderful mayor, Mayor Dana Red of the city of Camden, and her staff, particularly Ms. Novella Starks Henson. And I also want to thank the superintendent of Camden City Schools, Mr. Payman Rahanaford, and the Board of Education that I, as a member, sat on, starting with our board president, Ms. Catherine Blackshear, and Ms. Martha Wilson. I think it is a wonderful opportunity to serve and is to have the opportunity to say thank you to all those wonderful people who have opened up doors for me and you to serve the community. But as always, I'm just so excited about this particular show and every show because I have a gentleman with me who is, we would like to say, another part of Camden royalty. And he has a wonderful story, the former champ of the boxing, and as far as the cruiserweight and the light heavyweight champion, he was even a heavyweight. He was simply known as the Camden Buzzsaw, and he helped to inspire so many young people, including myself, in the city of Camden to do some wonderful things. And he's just a wonderful and humble spirit, Brother Dwight Muhammad Qawi. Greetings, sir. Yes, sir. As always, I'm just so excited about this particular show. As I was just saying in my opening, that how grateful I am to have you here to come back to Camden and share your story with the wonderful people here in the city of Camden who may not know it. I know your story. I know how much you have inspired me specifically, you know, as a young man, growing up as a Muslim and knowing you, I was a young child in the masjid here at Masjid Noor, formerly Temple number 20 here in Camden. And it's just a wonderful, opportunity to welcome you back from Camden. So, Champ, you want to open it up.
Thank you. Yes. I often think of Camden, always wanted to come back to Camden, There was a period where you never respected your hometown, and
yes, sir.
That was small though, period. And there's a lot of love here for me, I know it. But mainly there's great things has been done in Camden. There's great things to identify with here in Camden. And that's, when I come, my name Qawi, it allows the attribute. Qawi means strong.
Yes, sir.
But he's the strong, all strong.
That's right.
And I chose that name because I looked at Camden and I said, man, you gotta be strong.
Yes, sir.
and Camden wasn't bad, Camden wasn't intimidating,
Yes,
Camden just was fertile for someone like me. It was a struggle.
Yes, sir.
Not bad. Again, I have to say that it wasn't like I wasn't wayward and things of that nature. In the beginning, I was a young man growing up and watching things around me, observing things around me. And back then, it wasn't like the tag they put on it now.
Correct.
The murders, the gangs, and
Correct.
all the vice and corruption. It wasn't
Correct.
that.
That's in every urban center in America,
There you go.
Camden is not just specific to that. Yes, sir.
I was inspired by a lot of great people. I met a young man the day that I saw when I was growing up. I mean, he wasn't that much older than me, but
yes,
he was older. He was like a big brother. He was like a big brother. And, he inspired me through his character.
Yes, sir.
He was always solid.
Yes, sir.
And I met people like that. It was around people like that. And,
yes, sir. I think we talking about Brother Bayard, Brother
Bayard.
James X, as we know here in Camden, simply known as Brother X here in Camden, who was also featured here on the Wasim Muhammad Show during the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March. We brought him here to get the younger people familiar with him, and it's wonderful that you talked about that character of individuals.
Yes, and because that's how you get it. They talk about it takes a village to raise a child, that kind of thing.
Yes, sir.
I could identify in different areas. I was attracted to different people, and he was one of those people, that I saw that was solid. He was quiet, not talking about people's business or putting his business and getting into everybody's business, and I liked it. I like that character, man. Good character.
Yes, sir.
And, more than anything, that means
also was a bodyguard for you too as well when you were champion, light heavyweight champion of the world.
Yes.
Well, we want to go back there. Let's go back a little bit to go forward, so I can reintroduce to you some of the younger people in the audience here at the Wasim Muhammad Show who watch this show weekly here on this Camden City School District channel. And you were, in fact, the heavyweight champion, or the light heavyweight champion of the world, and I believe cruiser heavyweight champion of the world. During which years? Junior cruiserweight channel.
I won the first title December 19th, 1981 from Dwight Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Whom I wish well, anyway, I didn't fight at that time. I wish I got him on the end because he took a beating because I was hungry.
Yes, sir.
The second fight title I won was from South Africa.
Correct. Yeah.
And it was during the period of apartheid, and I remember when I went over there, I said to the people, "This is the resurrection of my career, and I mean, this is your rising up and you know being to your humanity and getting in touch with your humanity."
Yes.
I was connected like that with
yes,
that,
sir.
and it meant a lot to me. That fight meant a lot to me. I won.
I
won the fight, and I came back. You know, it wasn't easy for me. You know, I had no amateur career.
Yes, sir.
They used to call me the instant pro.
Yes, sir.
They said, let them sweat and put them in the ring.
Yes, sir.
And I did my thing, you know.
Yes, you did.
So, yeah, they called me instant pro, and I also had the desire, you know, and I was hungry. Again, I was hungry. And that's what Camden produced in me. You know, it's like it was said to me, if you want it, you got to get it.
That's right.
There's a great saying in my religion, in my holy book. God says, surely man gets what he strives for.
Go ahead. That's right.
Camden, to, you know, being here and struggling up and coming, it had opportunities and potential. I remember I had an ABC plan.
Yes,
A plan was I was going to go, they had a CETA program, right? I was going to go there, and I was going to go to college. But the C plan became my A plan.
Yes, sir.
And I was prepared for all, you know, and
yes,
it was funny. I had no idea about it. I'm 25 years old. First thing they told me, I went in the gym, said, "You too old."
Yes, sir.
I said, "They too young."
Yes, sir.
He said, "For like heavyweight, they average one to 6 feet,
yes,
6
sir.
foot." And they say, "You're too short for light heavyweight." I
yes,
said, "They're
sir.
too tall."
Go ahead.
So I was switching
yes,
around. And life is like a philosophy.
Correct.
You know, it's poetic. And it's like you got to have a philosophy. You got to have, you know, when you have that self-talk, you can't count yourself out. You
correct.
Count yourself in.
Well, let's go a little bit back into your growing up in Camden. You grew up in what section of Camden? Do you remember? Send a shout out to that area of Camden.
First, let me correct. I was born in Baltimore, but I grew up in Camden.
Correct.
I was like 9, 10 years old when I came here, and I had a sister here already, and so we stayed and we grew, and I grew up here. You know, the things about Camden was just like any other city. You know, it wasn't no crime. It wasn't a lot of crime. I mean,
yes.
Nobody, you know, pick fights with you and all that. Matter of fact, I don't want to say another city's name, but
yes, sir.
You know, I heard about that city, gangs and stuff like that. I never experienced it in Camden.
Yes, sir.
You know, it was like, you know, so I love about it. You know, everybody stand on their own, and you know, and it wasn't, you know, getting jumped and all that. You know, we had boundaries. If I mean, we had boundaries, and I learned, you know, we had that, and that's why it shocks me then to see the behavior
correct.
of a lot of people. You know, there's no boundaries. They're reckless.
Correct.
You know.
Yes,
and
sir.
then I know that all that comes back on you. I was saying to you earlier, and it's a real graphic saying, but it's real. It's like he said, Mr. Qawi, these guys think they bad, but don't they know for every killer there's a killer?
That's right.
And I think he's still around.
Yes, sir.
He realized that. That's called healthy fear.
Correct.
I had healthy fear here, and I don't know if I was in the gang. And I remember one time I was traded up and coming. I went out to just go out.
Yes, sir.
And you know, hang out. You know, thinking I'm young and need a party, and almost got myself jammed up for life.
Correct.
I don't want to go in detail, but and it taught me a lesson. It was another lesson for me.
Yes, sir.
Keep yourself in you know, stay out of the mess.
Correct.
And I became more disciplined. I set more boundaries for myself.
Yes, sir.
But no matter where you're from, where you're at, you can have that mindset. You can have that self-talk like
Correct.
that. You know, you don't have to be crazy.
And what section of Camden was that? Was that, it was considered cross town then?
It was cross town.
Then, but
I was
know they
on
got
5th
different
and
names.
Spruce, cross town.
5th and Spruce Street, yes, sir.
Is
that the Froggy Bottom? Is that what they call it? They don't call that the Froggy Bottom, but you know, you hear about the Froggy Bottom, 5th and Spruce, but I think that was considered downtown.
2 blocks from where I grew up, you know, at which was Berkeley, you know, 6th and Berkeley. It's a good area back then, and all of that. You know, it's fertile ground for me. You know, and if you choose not to go, you don't go that route. You won't go that route. But
correct.
You know, Camden wasn't intimidating at all.
Yes.
When I was growing up, I mean, if we had a fair one, we had a fair one.
Yes, sir.
And everybody said, "Man, you had a lot of fights. You was in gangs." I said, "No, I wasn't, man."
Yes, sir.
You know, and the thing, the tag they put on me, and the reason why some people, you know, try to call me legendary in that sense.
Yes, sir.
With the street stuff, it's like I was young and I was cocky and fearless. You know what I mean by that?
Yes, sir.
You could be 6 feet, 25 years old.
Yes, sir.
Come on, let's go.
Yes, sir.
But you know, that was a little cockiness in me. And when I went to in the boxing, you know, it gave me the edge. Is what I'm gonna say.
Correct.
My being confident.
That confidence, yeah.
Real confidence.
Having that confidence, I think that needed in athletics to survive, which you can transfer into life, because that kind of confidence you have, you can take that kind of confidence anywhere. And I'm just reminiscing, just back on the old Camden spirit, and I can just tell that you have that downtown spirit of most of the people that grew up in that section, because they were very humble.
Where did he come from? Where did he come from? Who are you? You know, in the old days, they used to say a ringer. You know, they would put people and they would assume names for them, and they would fight in different places. They was very good, and they would sneak them in on the champ.
Yes.
And they said, "Where did he come from? He's a ringer, man."
Yes, sir.
And they called me that because I'm a street fighter from Camden. I know how to fight.
Yes, sir.
I used to love the guys. Some of the guys here, the Blakes.
Go to Blake's family, correct? Yes, sir.
I used to watch them, man. It was short, like
yes,
me,
sir.
Right?
Yeah.
I used to step back, the same thing I used to do.
Yes, sir.
And all that, man. I'm gonna be honest. I watched them, man.
Yes, sir.
I love boxing. Was in me.
Yes,
boxing
sir.
just was in me, and you know.
Is there anybody else in the community? I know you mentioned Brother James X, which we know as Brother X here, that helped inspire you. Was anyone else that inspired you in that area there of downtown section, then called the downtown section of Camden?
Just people I didn't really get to know that well, but I watched them.
Correct.
You know, and all the fathers, all the big brothers.
Correct.
You know, they was appropriate. You know, they grew up, they had jobs, they got a nice car. You know, just like any other young person. You know, and those are the things that I was attracted to, and they wasn't getting in a lot of trouble.
Yes, sir.
But that still don't mean that I have my own thing in my own way. So I had to check that out. When you say anybody I knew, people like Gil Scott Heron, have to be, you know, people that all of a sudden they was free thinkers.
Correct.
And it got my attention, and I'm looking another way. Well, what is that? What's that about?
Yes, sir.
And then another person through a song and hearts, like
the
Muhammad Ali.
Correct.
You know, Muhammad Ali.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's like awful, you know, boxing, and you know, and I hear a lot about him and all that. And then he came to Convention Center one time.
Yes, sir.
And I got to see him.
Yes, sir.
And I seen this man. He looked like me. He was big and strong, humble, and he was confident.
Correct.
You know, that's what caught my eye. That's what was attractive to me, and I wasn't looking at the guy laying out on the street bumming out, you know,
yes,
or shooting up, you know, and all of that. I knew what that would lead to. So
correct.
We need to be examples, like you are an example.
All praises due to Allah. Yes, sir.
And that's right. You're an example. And sometimes what you say means more. What you do rather mean more than what you say. You're credible, is what I'm saying.
Correct.
You're
yes,
very
sir.
credible, and I can tell.
Yes, sir.
You know, you're a man of work. And we need more of that. And I had the opportunity to do it.
Yes,
I did
sir.
it. You know, but we have to watch out. Not to be honest, but to watch out for the vices.
Correct. Yeah. Well, we're gonna use that as an abbreviated moment, and we're gonna come back and talk to that part, because I think a lot of our young people need to hear that as you're growing up and you're inspired, as Brother Dwight Qawi saying to us that he had that tenacity, and some of us like to call it cockiness, but in some ways you could take that negative word and make it positive and say confidence. And we're gonna go back and revisit that point that he's talking about, the negative vices that come after you when you're trying to find your way. So don't you touch that dial and don't go nowhere. We'll be right back, and we'll hold this story and tell the story for ourselves.
Hi, my name is Jardane Brown, a graduate of Camden High School and the school district's new college and career readiness manager. If you're a college-bound high school senior, then you're already familiar with the hard work and attention to detail it takes to complete your college applications. Now it's time to begin working with your guidance counselor and family to figure out how you're going to pay for your college education. The good news is that there are lots of scholarships and financial aid available to Camden students. But to be eligible for helping pay for college, you must first complete the free application for student aid, or the FAFSA. The FAFSA application is the document that nearly every college and university in America uses to determine how much financial aid you will receive and what additional supports are available to you. The deadline to complete your 2016-17 FAFSA is June 30th, but the earlier you complete all your paperwork, the earlier you can rest easy knowing exactly how you will pay your tuition this fall. Completing a FAFSA application can be quite intimidating for students and families, but don't worry, your school is here to support you. Students and parents should come to their FAFSA completion session with the parent or guardian 2015 tax forms, the student's social security number or alien registration card, and federal student aid ID number. Start collecting this paperwork now. If you don't have a federal student aid ID or are worried that your family doesn't have all of these documents, talk to your school's guidance counselor today. Students and families with questions about the FAFSA form or how to pay for college should speak with their school guidance counselor. And finally, remember that it's perfectly normal to feel overwhelmed or nervous about all the work you need to do before you're ready to start college this fall. That is why your teachers, guidance counselors, and the school district are all here to help you. Working together, we can help every Camden graduate stay on the path to college and career.
And welcome back, and we are here with Brother Dwight Muhammad Qawi, former light heavyweight champion of the world from the Camden Buzzsaw. And as we are entering into and are into, Black History Month, the intention of this particular show, the Wasim Muhammad show, was about us preserving our history. And if we don't preserve our history, then we can't expect others to do that such for us. And that's why it gives me a humble and wonderful opportunity to sit back and talk to some wonderful people who made an impact, not only on my life, but they made an impact in the city of Camden, and then went on and still making an impact in the city of Camden. So we're here with Brother Dwight Muhammad Qawi, and we was talking about, you was talking about that confidence that you had, and, share with our audience and what, some of the things, because being young in Camden, we're impressionable, and being impressionable, sometimes, the wrong people try to impress us, and we think the wrong things impress us, as you see that the gang culture is in most urban centers, and now that we never thought that would reach the East Coast or Camden and New Jersey. But you talk about some of the things that made you avoid some of the pitfalls and of those outside influences that were not so good that you can share with some of the young people here in Camden.
To be honest, I didn't avoid all the pitfalls. There was a period where I walked in the hole. I crawled in that same hole.
Yes, sir.
But I didn't crawl in the second time.
Yes, sir.
And
yes,
that's the thing they get me. Some people, they go through all they go through. They get right back and crawl through that hole all over again. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. I'm like,
yes,
it missed me that time.
Yes,
because, I learned. And one of the greatest things God gave us was reasoning.
Go ahead.
And the thing you asked me, some pitfall, why didn't I repeat it? When I was, I have to be honest, last time I was ever incarcerated, there's a thing, first of all, let me say, there's a thing called parental voice. Mm-hmm. And my mom, man, she was like any other mom.
Yes, sir.
She would, boy, this and that, and you listen.
Correct.
You may not act like it, but you listen.
Correct.
And then I got older. I started to hear that parental voice and start to reflect on it. Mm-hmm. And I never forget, I was laying one night in the sun, and I told myself, I'm done, man. I'm done with this.
Yes, sir.
Because I thought, I was thinking. I became a thinking being. A lot of the young people, they're not thinking beings. They don't use their head, man.
Correct.
For the right thing, they don't use it, man. They don't think.
Yes,
They're so impulsive. They react, they jump into stuff, and then, all over again, they're right back at the same spot. It's like going in a circle.
Yes, sir.
The only way to break that circle is to be conscious.
Yes, sir.
Of what you do. Think
yes,
before you act.
Correct.
And during that time with the crime and, whatever it may be, that's because you negative consequences. Think.
Correct.
That's what I said.
So what do you think that in talking about that, you talking about, I know it's a very strenuous thing to be a boxer, very disciplined. People don't know how, as I always tell some people, probably the best shaped athlete is a boxer, a track star, and maybe a basketball player coming behind that, because all what they have to do in athletics, not taken away from any other sport, but we know the way those people train, they're trained, they're great athletes. And as you without training, you know, the people that would come and come on, man, brother Dwight, come on out here with me and come do this. But you had that tenacity just to stay focused.
I think that's what, when I was talking about before we took a break, is that one time I went out and started the party, it was like God gave me a wake-up call.
Yes, sir.
You know, I don't want to go into details on what, you know, and the guy, you know, his face, I stepped in that hole. I crawled in the hole.
Yes, sir.
And so, but he was gracious and merciful to me.
Yes, sir.
You know his grace. I mean, everybody knows his grace. You know his grace when you see his grace.
That's right.
There's the pain. The train just jumped off the track.
Yes,
For some
sir.
reason, it missed me.
Go ahead, come on.
But I never stood on that track again.
Yes, sir.
And that's what he did. He, and then I got it together. I got it together, and 3.5 years later, I did what only at the time Olympians did. I became champion.
Yes, sir.
Put me in the ESPN tournament with a box off. I won that.
Yes,
They
sir.
said the one that win the box off, it goes and field a network fight. I won that.
Yes,
That's
sir.
how I got my notoriety. Not through Olympics. I mean, I couldn't have planned it better. I couldn't have planned.
Yes,
I
sir.
got the network fight. So they say I went to fight James Scott in prison, beat him.
Oh yeah, I remember. That was a great thing. That was one of the best
But
fights.
that's funny.
there.
That was like
Yes,
that was
sir.
like life imitating art.
Correct.
And I don't want to go no further than that, because
Yes,
when
sir.
I went going in there together. So I went in there and I beat him. And
Yes,
then they
sir.
came to me and they said, you know, we like you. We want you to fight for the title.
Yes,
so,
sir.
And then rest is history.
What inspired you to get into boxing? As you know, you had the great street reputation in Camden.
Right.
What inspired? What was the spark? Was it someone who came and said, "Listen, man,
Yeah.
change this town
Yeah,
around"?
yeah.
It had to be, you know.
One of those big brothers.
Yes, sir.
So I was at an ABC plan, remember? I was around 25 years old.
Yes, sir.
Boxing was my C plan.
Gotcha.
So one of those people I say, like in the neighborhood of the village, he saw me one day, he threw on the brakes and jumped out of his car. Man, where you been? Hugged me and all that. He used to hang out with my older brother.
Got you.
So he kept saying to me, man, you need to box, man. You'll be champion. Because he seen my work.
Yes, sir.
So he was so convinced himself. He took me and went around. We got shorts, we got hand wrap, we got sneaks, we got all this stuff for boxing. He took me to Joe Frazier the same day.
Yes, sir.
And he introduced me. He said, this guy can fight, man.
Yes,
He can
sir.
fight. And they were listening to him and they were looking at him. He was very excited. He was taking that into account. And they said, okay, tell that dog meat to come back. They call everybody dog meat. So,
Yes, sir.
and they challenged me. And I said to myself, I said, I'll be back.
Yes, sir.
And I used to catch the 9th Street line and from Camden to the Broad Street line.
Okay, do it. Yes,
I went all the way up to Joe Frazier's.
Yes,
I would
sir.
train and box, come back. Again, 3.5 years later, through my dedication and my intense training.
And that's an abbreviated moment once again, talking about the ability to catch the trains and get on 3 or 4 trains. Or someone who I'm going to interview who's in the studio tonight. I mean, this afternoon, him and I, when we were in high school, we would catch the train over to Philly and over to the
Yes.
Sunny Hill Basketball League. As he
You got to
was a
be
Sunny Hill
focused,
All-Star.
man. You got to be
that's
focused
tenacity.
and dedicated.
Yes, sir.
You hear me? And I could taste it.
Yes, sir.
And all the challenges that they, challenged me with, I mean, like, I would welcome.
Yes, sir.
Because as my trainer said to me one day, I was going down into a fight. Everybody, like, good luck, champ, good luck, champ.
Yes, sir.
He waited till I got in the ring, he got right in my face. Remember this, luck is nothing, you say good luck, luck is nothing but being prepared when opportunity presents itself.
Go ahead.
So you better be right.
Yes, sir.
So, and ever since I remember that.
Yeah.
But
But
I
you
was
had that
just right.
kind of same style as a Joe Frazier style. Did you grow up trying to mimic what Joe Frazier, or just the style that you
Let me tell you something.
gravitated
I
to
first went in the
naturally?
ring, I was jumping around like Muhammad Ali. They
Everybody
laughed. Everybody wanted to be Muhammad Ali. And I was actually get away with it.
Yes,
I got
sir.
away with it. That's why,
Yes,
I had
sir.
good reflexes. Just like you see me fight for me.
Yes, sir.
I was never in front of him, you know what I mean? I was tagging him. I thought I had him beat really until I ran the
Yes,
gas.
sir.
But, and I could always have vision. I could vision seeing how I can win this fight, whatever. So I just got ready stay ready. My trainers, when I was there, they told me always stay halfway in shape, because I was an underdog for a while. And being had nobody supporting me, nobody setting up fights for me. I would just keep going to the gym. They would call me up and say, "We got to fight." They give you everything and say, "We got to fight 2 weeks."
Yes, sir.
And it's I said,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
And the only thing I want to know is, which hand, is he hit the hardest with.
Yes, sir.
That's the one he's not going to hit me with.
That's right.
So,
Yes,
so I
sir.
went, stay ready. And it kept me focused. The focus is the key.
Correct.
That's what I said earlier. I find it's the key. Then what I did, and then what I do. I gotta see. I gotta see I gotta see the outcome.
Correct.
Straight through, all the way through, the meaning of it and everything. And like it reminds me of a saying I heard. Around the work field and forth, they say if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
That's right.
And I can run.
Yes, sir.
I knew I got in shape after running and beating the bags for 15 rounds and all that and sparring. After all that, I felt like I could do it all over again.
Yes, sir.
That's when I knew I was in shape. And
Yes, sir.
I was dedicated, and that's where you got to get to. And not only with the athletics, but you got to get that way in life.
With life, because that same kind of, I call that the divine. I mean, I was
That's the
watching
winning
an
solution.
interview. We just lost the great Maurice White of Earth, Wind and Fire. I remember watching him interview, and they was trying to say to him, where did he get that particular music from? And he said it just came to him, because he was in tune with himself. And let's go back a little bit. You talked about it, because for me, I don't know in your career, to me, in watching you, as we was a fan of boxing in my family, growing up with my father, just sitting at the TV watching it, when we turned the channel, watching boxing, that particular fight, I think, was the breakthrough fight for you with James Scott and going into, what was that? What prison was that? Rawway prison. What was that? Was that the defining moment of your career? Was that when you knew you was on center stage? Was that a change for you? Because I think you were also at Rawway too as well. Is that true? And maybe not there, but I'm trying to go back in time, remember, because we were 12, 13 years old, but I know I was excited to see you on television. And was that the moment for you where you knew to say, hey, I'm in the big league and I better get this thing together?
Well, again, the confidence. I knew that I was, headed for the big league, and you say that, when the ESPN tournament,
Gotcha.
when I won that.
Gotcha.
They had a box all over the country, and I became the champion.
Yes, sir.
And what made me know that I could do it and I had arrived was me being dedicated and conditioned. See, I had a vision.
Good point.
I seen a thing one time where they said they was training people to shoot basketball, not like Curry, but
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
And so they said, and they were playing, and so that one of them they didn't do nothing. It was three experiments. One experiment they had the people do nothing. They was playing, and then the second one they had the person just vision it, how he's going to do it and play, and the third one they actually had people practice. The person that visioned it was just as close on as the person that was practicing.
That's right.
That means a lot,
Yes, sir.
and yeah, people say I ate boxing, slept boxing, and did it,
Yes,
and that's
sir.
what it was. I mean, I had other life, but that was first for me. That was
Yes, sir.
what most important, and I wanted it. I could taste it.
You can
that
taste
was the
it.
difference.
Yes, sir. And I can see it in your boxing career, and I, as we.
Until the vices came along, and we'll talk about that.
Well, that's a part. That's a part. I think that's a part of life. For me, as a minister, we know. And that's why we always at the mosque, always at the temple, always at the church, because we know we're going to lead people that we know of, as God is most forgiving for all of us.
Yes.
We know we all have challenges, and we keep it moving forward. We just go on. And before we go way into our next segment, I was want to set up for this next segment. I know for me, I could never be thankful to you enough. Being a young kid, we talk about inspiring young people, Black History Month. And I could never forget, I think I was in the 6th grade, and it was the U.S. grade fight, Matthew Saad Muhammad again, and it was always Camden, Philly. It was exciting for us because it was Camden versus Philly, because we always see those box off. Because my father used to take me over to the Blue Horizon to see all those Camden and Philly fights that they would have there on weekends sometimes, and I could never forget. That was the first time on that kind of stage, being a young man, me just being there, and you had for the young children growing up in the masjid, and I happened to be one of those children. We shared the same faith of Islam there on Broadway, and I believe it was Imam Harold, not Harold Abdullah is the Imam now, but it was Imam Freed Munir who was the Imam then. And you took all the young kids from the masjid there on Broadway to witness that fight for you, and I can never thank you enough for that. And that kind of inspired me to see there, to be there, and not beyond the fact that you whooped him like he stole something. Nevertheless, you know, we're gonna talk a little bit about that.
And so in boxing, I'm so glad that no animosity. And people used to wonder. Saad was a great guy. He's a great character. Every time he see me, I'm gonna give you a big hug.
Yes, sir.
Kiss me on my forehead.
Yes, sir.
This guy was not bitter.
Yes, sir.
And I admired that about him.
Yes, sir.
I need to say that.
Yes, sir.
He had character.
A character. Yes, sir. Wonderful, brother. We appreciate that. And, you know, as we wind down on this segment of the Wasim Muhammad Show, as you can see, this is a very candid and inspiring interview here. And I know I'm picking up a lot from the warmth of being a spiritual man. I would like to call myself Allah. God is the best judge. But you can feel people's spirit. And I hope that you are getting the same spirit that I'm getting from this humble and wonderful gentleman who did so much and then had so much and still around doing what he's doing, and to come back to his hometown and try to inspire the young people here and to get our people together and just get young people and older people, because sometimes that inspiration never stops. It's a wonderful thing. Don't you touch that dial. We'll be right back with our brother and friend, Brother Dwight Muhammad Qawi.
Oops. Uh-oh.
Get on top of it before they do. Every 24 minutes, tipped furniture or a falling TV sends an injured child to the emergency room. Preventing tip-over incidents is easy, inexpensive, and only takes 5 minutes. Learn how to secure your furniture and TVs to protect children at anchorit.gov.
And welcome back. I'm here once again with Brother Dwight Muhammad Qawi, the Camden Bossall, the Camden great, former champion of the world in boxing. And while we was away on the segment, we was talking about, on the break, we was talking about character. And that's a wonderful thing, conversation to talk about, because I think that's what such is lacking among humanity. And we want to talk a little more about that character, because not only, as I can see, that you were a great boxer, as you talked about Brother Matthew Saad Muhammad, who at that time was your nemesis in the ring, but you were just a little more hungrier than he was coming up as you were in the streets of Camden. But the character that you said, when he saw you, he didn't have that animosity, because it was just a sport, it was just business, it's just politics, and character can balance people out.
Yes.
And we can understand that. Go ahead.
Yeah, he had the character, and it was a lesson to be around him. What you just said, no animosity, you know, forgiveness, and you know, he lost a lot, you know, as far as like that was him being a breadwinner, you know, and he enjoyed a certain lifestyle, you know, and I knew that I put a dent in that, you know.
Yes, sir.
But he didn't, like, you know, he would see me, and it was genuine. He would get so excited and that
Yes,
kind,
sir.
because he knew we both Muslims, you know, one that we believe alike, but more than that, we were both humans.
Yes, sir.
We both human, and
Yes, sir.
and we wasn't going to let that, you know, dictate who we were, who we are.
Yes, sir.
And I love that about him. I like that about him. And he also, he persevered, you know. So, but character, man, I'm attracted to that. I'm attracted to good character.
Yes, sir.
And because I believe that that's what my Lord and your Lord and everybody's Lord looks at.
Go ahead.
Because it's the character.
Yes, sir.
And that's the one thing that you can hold me accountable. You know, how I treat you, how you treat me, the relationship and all.
Yes, sir.
And I just have to be careful. And that's what was one of my downfalls. You know, you have to be careful.
Yes, sir.
And arrogance can sneak in.
Go ahead. Vanity has its place, as they say.
All
Yes,
those
sir.
things. And we don't talk to our kids about that.
Yeah.
And I watch as kids grow up around their parents. They curse them out, they'll fight them, they get defiant and defensive because they want to give them direction, you know what I mean? Say, you look like this and be around that and this, you know, they don't want to hear it. And
Yes,
then a few months later, years later, they, you know, born the consequences of it.
Yes,
So those things are more important to me. You know,
Yes,
what
sir.
I did, boxing was what I did. You know, and
Yes,
I
sir.
loved it. I love what I did. I
Yes,
was
sir.
successful. I accomplished it.
Now, when you
Life
grew
is
up,
bigger than that.
when you grew up, you grew up. You were the first or the oldest child.
I'm
I
the
know-
military. I'm
I
in the
know.
middle.
May Allah be pleased, but you just lost a brother not too long
Yeah,
ago, and
yeah.
but you're the middle child. You,
Yeah.
you want
Yes.
to talk about that? Growing up with brothers and sisters, and
Well, I had to fight to
family
get the meal. You know, no,
Yes,
yes,
sir.
that's a joke. But,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah. But
Yes,
no, the middle child of 13.
of 13.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
there was a lot. And you know, the big family, man. You know, sometimes they got a thing called family dynamics, and I fit one of those dynamics.
Yes,
And I
sir.
became a hero, I think.
Because I think that goes in line with character, because people don't
Yeah.
know how important family is
Yeah.
in shaping a character
Right.
of an individual, being a middle child. I'm the youngest,
Yeah.
so I know they say that I was spoiled. I don't know where that was at,
Yeah.
but it gave me the opportunity to watch my older brothers and sisters, so that I had the opportunity to say, okay, now I can do this,
Right.
and I can go this way, or I can go that way, and you can be fortunate enough to live by the experiences that they have, whether
Yes.
they were good or bad.
Yeah.
We have to take those particular experiences, and character, that thing is so, I can tell that you're a man of character.
And you learn, you miss the family. I learned through my family again. You know, you should enjoy them and love them while you can, because things can happen.
Yes, sir.
And then not only death, but you know, other things can happen.
Yes, sir.
You know, to set you apart. You know, I had a great career.
Yes, sir.
I,
You had some great trainers too.
Had some great trainers.
The late great Lou Duva was your trainer, correct?
No,
Not Lou. You didn't have Lou Duva?
No, he trained my brother.
Okay, got you. I knew it was
Big-
somebody in the
Lou
family.
Duva was my nemesis.
Your nemesis with Evander Holyfield and a
That's
couple
all,
other
just
people.
Evander Holyfield.
Evander Holyfield. But what we're going to talk about that we're going to take that moment to boxing purists. They say that particular fight that you fought when you fought Evander Holyfield was probably ranks in the Ali Frazier, you know, some of the great fights of all time, because that helped to shape Evander Holyfield's career. Everybody in Camden thought that you really won the fight, but nevertheless, it was a very big defining moment as Evander Holyfield was just coming out of Olympics, and he was the new kid on the block and the golden boy, as you would like to say. And they put him in a ring with you to really test to see where he was at as they brought him along. They didn't bring him along too early, because sometimes you can destroy a person's career if you put him out there too early. But they brought him along at the right time. You were a little older. You was making a comeback, your second comeback of your career. But that was just a darn good fight, and it was a wonderful fight. And I got an opportunity to show my children that particular fight, and they was watching it round for round like it was yesterday, and you bobbing and weaving. And you want to talk a little bit about that, because I know the people from Camden, we talk about that. That's great conversation in the city of Camden.
Well, it was simply young man versus older man, right? And speed, he had the speed of some things. The thing that I couldn't vision him having was that tenacity, that going the distance. He wasn't supposed to go the distance. And I say that to this day. If you look at the fifth round and the fourth round, he was dead.
Yes, sir.
Verbal, he was dead. He walked back to the ring, he was out. He was dead. And they grabbed him and set him down.
Yes, sir.
And the one thing they did in the corner that was different from most other fighters, I don't know what he was drinking, he was giving a lot of it.
Gotcha.
I ain't gonna say no more than that. And
Yes,
then
sir.
2 rounds later, he was taking 3 steps to my 1.
Gotcha. Yes, sir.
Right around 13, 14, 15 rounds, like he was coming out the 1, 2, first, second, and third round.
Yes, sir.
And I just was a little suspicious of that fight. And
Yes,
if he hear me and he hear somebody tell him about it, I don't care if he got qualms with it. He could meet me, just me and him.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
I know I'll come back first.
Go ahead.
Let me stop. But
We got it.
But,
Yes, sir.
but I have I'm very suspect about that fight. But he has heart. He has heart. He has a good chin. He come to fight. He fought my sparring partner on TV. His name was Lionel Bayou. I still remember.
Correct.
Golden
Gotcha.
Country.
Yes.
And Country took him 6 rounds, and Evander was dead tight. And then he came a few months later to fight me. World class fighter.
Got you.
Used to go in 15 rounds.
Gotcha.
Can't go 15 rounds.
Got you. Maybe that's why Mike Tyson bit him on his ear or something. I don't know. I just bring up anything.
But it's a fight. It's a fight that still
Yes,
puzzles
sir.
me. Still puzzles me. And it is what it is, you know. If I could do it over again, I'd probably do it different, but that's the way it is.
Yes, sir. But you fought the likes of Leon Spinks, and I know we was really hoping that you put a whooping on him, because growing up as Muhammad Ali was everybody's idol, and every child who grew up during that era, you know, when he whooped Muhammad Ali, we were just angry at. We didn't, you know, we were just mad as all we could be, because he beat our childhood hero. But when you got in the ring with him, and I'll never forget that, you put the gloves down and you just was doing your head like that because you was on top of your A game.
I had a very unique style, and I developed it. And one thing I did, I challenged myself, and I challenged other people. I love being that challenge, and I love being the underdog. And one of my models was hitting me, was like trying to hit the New Jersey lottery.
Yes, sir.
I was hard to hit. You couldn't hit me if you had a handful of rice. That's how I could be smooth, man.
Yes,
and I made you miss, and I made you pay.
Yes,
I didn't, you know, just showboat. And I would do that, and that would take a lot out of a fighter. I was a Philadelphia type fighter, even though I'm not
correct.
In the sense that, you know, when they had people up and coming, they
want
to test.
All over your head.
They want to test where they at. They sent them to Philly.
Yes, sir.
I never took a lot of punches. I can count on 3 fingers the time I was hurt in the ring. You know, and that's people fall out in the winter, get hurt more. But I did my trade. I learned my trade, and I can't really say maybe I mastered it.
Yes,
you
sir.
know, like use the terms, but I did excellent. And I love it. And people watch me, they understand it's not just go blow for blow. You hit me, I hit you. You know, you go swinging bolos. You know, I never was like that. You know,
there's a lot of skill involved.
Yes, lots, and that's what I loved about it. I love the skill of it.
Yes, sir.
But in life, man, I think I grew. I'm always growing. That's the key. I grew at whatever I did. I put it all in.
Yeah.
You know, and if I fail, per my own vices or as a result of somebody else's doing, you know, I got back up and I kept going forward.
That's the glory. That's the plurality of life. Yes,
and that's one of the creeds of my religion. Even.
Go ahead.
It ain't over till it's over.
That's right. Yeah.
And then that's when it really begins, because you're going back to.
That's right. You also fought George Foreman too, as well. I just want the people of Camden to know that the younger people. I know the elders listening to this or watching this particular segment of the Wasim Muhammad show, that they see that they're just ecstatic. And I remember when I put the little tweet out there, the people were excited about
George
that.
Foreman. What's what happened to George Foreman? I'm thinking about coming back for another time, my 3rd time. In the cruiserweight, because my trainers kept wanting me to get down. I'm walking around 220, so they want me to get down to 190. Because that's what you got to do. And I'm solid like a middleweight at 220.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't have nothing to lose really, and I would hurt myself by cutting my food and water in half and still training. But so I said, you got to give me 8 weeks.
Gotcha.
It makes it more reasonable for me to do that. Then they called me back 2 days later and said, Jan, we got somebody else for you.
Yes.
And they offered me twice as much money.
Yes, sir.
I said, who you got? He said, Big George. I said, George who? Foreman. I didn't even know he had made a comeback.
Oh, okay.
So I thought about it. I said, I'm going to think about it. I said, I'll call you back.
Yes, sir.
Not before 24 hours, I'll call him back.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, give me that money, or me and give me that fight.
Yes, sir. Well, do you have self-promoting, or what was your promoting?
Well, at that time, at that particular time, nobody was really promoting me. They knew. They was in touch with me. So I went in to win, and I gave it a lot of thought. My trainer always wanted me to go to heavyweight, so I wouldn't have to fight the weight so much.
Gotcha.
So I went in, and I remember what he said to me. He said, you ever get a fighter, you got to hit him as hard as you can. No matter where you hit him on his elbow, make him feel your power.
Yes, sir.
And he said, he's going to be thinking about your power from then on.
That's right.
And that's just what I did with Foreman. I
Yes,
took the fight. I went out, I never forget, I walked right to him.
Yes, sir.
And I seen his eyes. What's going on here? For the next 4 rounds, he was like this.
Yes.
He was looking for that same punch.
Doing the zombie thing that Muhammad Ali talked about.
Yeah, but he was looking for that same punch.
Yes,
and I think a lot of people thought I was winning when I weighed it up. I just got real tired.
Yes,
to me, yeah, we got the spectators and all that. You know, when I'm in shape and all that, you get it.
Sir.
But I'm rational enough to know that this ain't worth my life.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Anybody else I can play around with, mess with them right. And
that's
so
right.
I waved it off. I mean, I gave it back like you brought it to me. You didn't bring it to me to get in shape, so I'm not in shape. So
Yes,
what
sir.
to expect?
Gotcha.
You know, and the people look, they was mad at one thing. They kept telling me, you was winning.
Yes,
when
sir.
you threw the fight. They thought I threw the fight. I said,
Yes,
no, you
sir.
get in there.
Those Monday morning quarterbacks.
Yeah,
I like to call them Tuesday morning
But
quarterbacks.
they forgave me. They
Yes,
forgave
sir.
me. They know. they all tell me you're one of the greatest fighters I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, sir.
So, and they know my heart is big as all outdoors.
That's right.
But I'm also sensible.
Yes, sir, and that's most important. And as we wind down on this particular part, before we come back on our last segment of the Wasim Muhammad Show, as you can tell, that Brother Dwight Muhammad Qawi is not just a boxer. As the black community produced a lot of great people, and as in the examples that you have in our community with so many athletes that not was just athletes, they were great humanitarians. As you can tell, he has a lot of lessons that he can share with you and me. And we're going to come back and we're going to spend this last segment to talk about, just life in general and how we can inspire people. Maybe even talk about politics, get into that. You met the mayor today and it was a wonderful meeting. Maybe we'll discuss that and talk about that.
Man, and she seems like an everyday person, but what she's doing, man,
it's wonderful.
It's
yes,
amazing.
Sir. So don't you touch that dial. We'll be right back, and don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
The torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans.
The American dream need not forever be deferred.
This is the richest and the most powerful country.
And we are back, and we're winding down on this last segment of the Wasim Muhammad Show. And I'm having this wonderful, candid conversation with the champ, as we can call him from Camden, Brother Dwight Muhammad Qawi, who helped to inspire so many young people. During that time in the early 80s, man, Camden was moving and shaking. We had the great Turner's Burners of Clarence Turner. We had, it was great, embark on the Heisman Trophy winner, Brother Mike Rozier, and then we had a champion as well too here in the city of Camden. But as always, you're just not just an athlete, brother. You're a humanitarian, as you can tell. That the faith base, you're a Muslim,
Yes.
and the faith community it needs to know, and we're not ashamed to talk about faith when it comes to being a person, the whole person, because that centers and anchors you and I.
And that's the thing that I'm so glad you brought up, as you talked about earlier, but the parental thinking, the
Yes,
voice,
sir.
your mother's voice, your father's voice, giving you guidance and having the conscience. That's one thing I'm glad I didn't lose.
Yes, sir.
Going to jail, hanging out on the streets.
Yes,
you
sir.
can hang out on the streets and say, "Oh, can I fix this? Can I help you with this?"
Yes, sir.
This joke is soft. Man, get out of here.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
You go to jail, you act like that. You know what might happen too. But you lose almost your humanity. Speaking of that, so
That's right.
it's not cool. They need to realize that God already gave you the best. He
Yes,
made you
sir.
excellent.
That's right.
He made you excellent. I heard that before, and I checked it out, and I looked at it.
Yes,
I
sir.
said, man, out of everything in creation, I'm the best
Go ahead.
because of this.
That's right.
What he gave me. And so no matter what I go through, I always know I got that to fall back on. Number one, God.
That's right.
And that's me. And I'm not God, but I mean, that's my thinking.
Go ahead. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And the other thing is that the attributes he gave me,
Yes, sir.
And as long as I'm living, I need to do the best and the right thing by it.
And I want to take that point right there to talk about it, because you talked about in the earlier session of this show about Qawi means powerful and strong, and you talked about attribute, and this is what we want to say, because Islam is a very popular religion now. One of the most popular religions in the world, and as we can see from the work of the early days of the Nation of Islam, of Honorable Elijah Muhammad telling black people to change our names and what our names mean, and gave us that kind of meaning. I would like to give you an opportunity to talk to our young people, because you have a lot of young people that grow up with these attributes and wonderful names. And as you talk about the Qawi meaning strong and the ability to wear that holy and great name that you said, to try to live up to it. And we want to share that with so many people in the community, because we seem to lose in that vigor when it comes to holding up to that attribute and what it means.
The one thing I regret rather is, and I can always do it. The name Abdul, the way with Qawi. Abdul meaning the servant of.
Go ahead.
I'm a servant.
Yes, sir.
And I need to remember that always. That the ego and the cockiness, you know, that I see on the streets, and the I don't know, that swagger they had around the names. It's not about that. These are holy names.
Go ahead.
Know?
Yeah.
And they have good meanings. They're good names.
Go ahead.
They're good names, and people, they see things and they pollute it.
Correct.
They pollute. You know, they try to pollute. They can never pollute.
Correct.
But a religion from God, you know?
Correct.
What he gave, they can attempt to.
That's right.
But it hurts you. You know,
That's right.
That's what happens. I have to say to myself, when I go through things and I'm alone and I fall back and I reflect, I remember one thing, that I worship a God that's all seeing, all hearing.
Come on.
And ever present, you know?
That's
and
right.
so I can't get away with anything, you know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir.
And I need to be truthful. You know, I need to. I think
God feeling and God conscious.
Yes, and
know.
I see the young people today, they're big time followers.
Correct.
More than when I was growing up. Because if somebody told me, man, let's go and get this joker, man, and they all impulsive and emotional. They don't stop to think again. You know, you worshiping that, you worshiping that lifestyle, you worshiping that person.
Correct.
That angers me, you know. But
Yes, sir.
I know the consequences. I've
Yes,
seen it
sir.
too many times. I've seen
Yes,
it too many
sir.
times. And even they see it, but they block it out, you know. So being God conscious is one of the greatest things I could ever do.
Yes, sir.
Seriously.
That's right.
The guy's supposed to be strong like me, a former thug. You know,
Yes, sir.
when people talk to me sometimes, and I introduce myself, I say, you know, I'm this, and I'm also a former thug. You know,
Yes, sir.
but I'm a former thug. I mean,
Yes, sir.
I was more thug than anybody.
Yes, sir.
And
Nothing
you
wrong
wouldn't
with that.
want to mess with me.
Go ahead. Yes, sir. Especially during that time when nobody carried guns, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But you know, I said, you know what, man, this is not pleasing. You know, this is not pleasing to my Lord. This pushes me away from people. I'm a herd animal, man. I don't want to be isolated. You know?
Yes, sir.
Seriously, and there's things about you have to change. People don't understand that, and young people don't understand that. You know,
Yes, sir.
look at your mother, your father, talk to them.
Go ahead.
The different segments of that's different times of life. You know, there was one time I thought I was a thug. There was one time this, but I changed and I became, you know, this person, humanitarian, like you say, and also I rose to great heights of my being and what I could do. Right? That's not a thug.
Go ahead.
You know what I mean? And
Yes,
giving back, being charitable,
Yes,
even when
sir.
you don't see it, you know, those kind of things.
That's right.
And I grew into those things. But they cut their life so short they'll never experience it, man.
Come on. Yes, sir.
They would never attribute to this life, to this world that they're in.
Yes, sir.
Because they're senseless, go out and kill each other, man.
Yes, sir.
And then wonder why they're in, you know, the predicament they're in.
That's right. And we're glad to have you back. But you're going to talk about what you're doing now, some of the three things that you're doing now.
Well, I'm at the Lighthouse in Mays Landing. It's the Drug and Alcohol Recovery Addiction Center. And I've been in this field since 1990.
Yes, sir.
And I've been in this field of helping people, work with kids, you know, and it got me in touch with my empathy, this job.
Yes, sir.
And again, you know, it helped me a lot because I know I treat people like I want to be treated. And if I find myself not doing that, I catch myself, and I don't want to even apologize because you know better, you know less. You know, we all the same, and that's humane.
Go ahead.
The job helps me with that, and maybe that's where I needed to be.
Yes, sir.
So, but you know, boxing and celebrity status can, you know, stir up a lot of things. Like, you know, what they would call even negative emotions, like vanity, you mentioned, or things like that. You have to be careful. But once you're being careful, you know, there's a thing. I say to people, thank God what He gave me. You know, thank Him what He left me with.
Yes, sir.
And thank Him for what He took from me.
Yes, sir.
Because if He never took certain things
Go
from me, maybe I could still, you know, be, you know, outrageous, wayward, and things like that. So we need to be grateful. We need to be grateful and need to stop, think, reflect. And things is not always as it appears to be. I
Yes,
learned
sir.
that in my life. You know, and if you live it long enough, you'll see.
So everything ain't glitter ain't gold.
That's
huh?
right, everything glitters. That's right.
Yes, sir.
So that's it. You know, I learned a lot, and you know, that's more than even money and fame. You know, but you see what happens today with people with that.
Yes, sir.
They can't even find their own way to the bathroom sometimes.
That's right.
I'm serious. You know, they have nothing but consequences, negative consequences, man.
Yes, sir.
You need more than anything. Important is your sanity, man.
Yes, sir.
If you ain't got that, what good is it going to do?
But good to do. But we glad, like I said, we're so glad to have you back here in the city to talk, have that conversation with our young people and people in general.
I would love to talk to them. I'd love to just say I have a talk with them.
I know you said you got some ideas that you would like to do coming back, and you know we have to welcome you with open arms because you did so much for us as a community and help put Camden on the map.
I'm in school and I was in this class last night, and they was talking about integrity, and man, people. You know, everybody got their own idea of what it's supposed to be. And I'm telling you, it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to talk about the topic. I'm not going to be judgmental.
Yes,
but I can say this much. It's dangerous, man. You know, I hope we all, as this program I sometime venture, it got a sign on the wall that said, think, think, think. Yes, and I think that's what's missing. People not thinking, man.
Yes,
and then after the consequences, it's too late. Consequential thinking, man. I'm you know, really.
Yes.
I would really talk to the kids about that. Think it through, man.
Yes,
Ask questions.
That's right.
Ask questions. You know what I mean?
We just had the opportunity to talk to the mayor, and I know you. We was talking about some of the changes. There's wonderful things you see in Camden. How did you view that? What you think about?
Man,
that?
Oh man, it was like the picture could speak 1,000 words, right? You know, I could just see. I could feel the calmness of it. I could feel the behavior of the people and the character of the people. You know, a couple of things she said and what have you. I think I can be a good character. I'm a little older than that. I can be a little wiser than that.
Go ahead, yes, sir.
You ain't got to say certain things. I can see certain things. And I think she's surrounded by good people. She's doing good things. She ain't even got to say it. She ain't even got to build herself up.
Yes, sir.
You know, it preceded her. And then when I met her, I confirmed it.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
She's that person.
Yes,
she's
sir.
the one. She ain't got to be a man to be the one.
Go ahead. That's right. Yes, sir.
So, you know, I think she's got the stuff it takes.
Yes,
and I hope and I pray that she keeps going.
Yes, sir.
Because this is my city, you know. So whoever can do it, let them do it. Man.
Yes, sir.
And back them up, support them.
Yes, sir. So as we wind down, is there anything that you would like to say that you haven't had the opportunity, that you sat somewhere and said, man, if I ever go back to Camden, you know, and what I want to say to people in Camden and family, because you still part family here, right? Because they, you know, because we want to say the Braxton family is what you, just formerly known as Dwight Braxton, but it's Dwight Muhammad Qawi now. And
one thing we can't do, man, we can't be vindictive. You can find fault in anybody, anything. Yeah, you know. People kick your back.
That's for
he
sure.
Had that, he had this,
and
I'm sounding a little crude, but I mean to be. You know, I'm so glad I'm not that person.
Yes,
I see people that make mistakes, made mistakes.
Yes, sir.
That's me. That's you. That's everybody.
That's right. That's
you know, don't count yourself out. You know, that could be you. So be careful how you treat that person.
Correct.
Because you may find yourself in that similar predicament.
Well, I got back in touch with you as I was trying to say it for a while. So I got to get in touch with Brother Qawi, and I'm happy to be Facebook friends with your former wife, Tracy, who grew up with my sister, Tammy. They went to school together, and we got in touch with you. And, you know, I see the admiration and respect that she had for you, because she always trying to inspire me. She'll hit me on my Facebook page, good work, thanks you for what you're doing for the city of Camden. And such a wonderful thing. Yeah.
We got to look at the good of each other, man. Seriously, because the other thing that does, it weighs on you. Carrying around all that stuff, man. That stuff is poison, man.
Yes, sir.
That's what I learned too. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I said, you feel that way, you know, keep on. Just don't bring it to me, please.
Yes,
you know, and we all human, and it makes me more humble to know that I have faults, and, you know.
Correct.
And other people can have them too. So I think that's the lesson. I mean, you know, you want to carry around that vendetta, you know. I really want to pray for them. I really want to, you know, I feel for them. You know, I think that's what we need to learn, man, that we need to get more together. You know, I look at kids, man, whatever I miss, I wish I could go back and do, man.
Yes, sir.
You know, because one of my ideas was to help people, have the kids do things in places I almost felt like responsible. I'm not the only guy that can do that job, like be responsible for all of that. And he knows what he's doing, right? I felt as though if I would have done certain things, and it could have helped.
Yes,
but
sir.
It is what it is, and this is who I am today, and I think I'm a great human being, and you know, I haven't really intentionally hurt anyone to a point where I want to, with malice and vile and that kind of stuff. You know, everybody, again, make mistakes and they fall short, and you know, I think we just need to all just get along, man. You know,
that's right.
And you know, just learn how to, you know, live together, because it's no sense of being, angry and vindictive. It takes up too much time and energy, and plus you couldn't do it with me anyway.
Yes.
I'm a humble guy, man, because I don't even want to give my best, man. I fear my Lord, and at the end of the day, and at the end of this life,
yes, sir,
I want Him to be pleased with me.
Yes, sir.
I do. I've been taking retrospection all the time. At the end of this life, and at the end of the day, I just want Him to be pleased with me. And I think of it all the time when I lay down.
Yes, sir.
And how was my day?
Yes,
was
sir.
it pleasing to my Lord, really? So that's it.
All praise is due to Allah, brother. We appreciate it. And there we go. And I thank you for that candid conversation. And I know
it wasn't candid. It was too candid.
Yes, sir. Got you to open up a little bit.
Man,
there.
oh man.
Yes, sir. We really appreciate it.
I'm going to have to go put my disguise on.
Yes, sir. Well, there we go. There's another edition of the Wasim Muhammad Show. As always, I'm so grateful and thankful to have this opportunity to share with you some of the great stories of the people of Camden, to inspire some young people and to inspire some of the older people, re-inspire some of the older people to keep on chucking as we turn our city around and do the work that needed to do, the heavy lifting a lot of people don't like to do. And we have people like Brother Dwight Muhammad Qawi around us who's willing to come back and share with us and wanted to do some more of the heavy lifting with us here in the city of Camden. We have to open our arms up and receive him with open arms. And as always, don't go anywhere. And you said it's like you got one thing you wanted to say.
Yeah, I want to say I'm glad I came up here, man, because I'm more inspired.
Yes,
looking at you, this young man is you on the go, man. I mean, you got energy,
you
got vision, you got focus. I mean, some of us passed the opportunity, missed the opportunity.
Yes, sir.
For then, but I'm glad to see it in a young man that's still carrying that torch. Seriously,
yes, sir.
Allah reward you, guide you, and bless you and your family. I mean.
All praises due to Allah. And thank you very much. And there it is. It's the kind of people we talk about that we intended with the Wasim Muhammad Show to highlight some great people. And see you again. Tune in to the next Wasim Muhammad Show. Thank you and God bless.